The following organizations have provided funding for this Into the Outdoors television series.
All right, I'll trade you these 3 for the Swedish super chicken.
Make it 4 when we have a deal.
Oh, fine.
I really want that one. Okay, here you go.
Yes!
I'm sure to get a bite on this one. Look at how many bites it's gotten in the past.
This one's gonna be great. I heard fish taste just like chicken.
Well, maybe if you use that lure.
Maybe.
Wait, I've seen this episode before. Let's watch some kids catch some fish. Oh, look it, it's another sheephead.
It is.
Hey, look, Jack, I finally got one. Oh, nice catch. So many of these? I wonder if we classify as sheephead herd.
We interrupt this broadcast with breaking news for anglers and boaters. Hey, you too, pay attention. Recent Coast Guard statistics show that the single biggest threat to your life and safety is ignorance about boating safety. Details on this report show that blah, 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 blah.
Hold on, is she saying we're stupid?
No, not really. Ignorance is not knowing about something. Stupid is knowing what's right and then doing what's wrong.
Oh, so you're saying we're only ignorant about boating safety?
Yes, but now that we know that being ignorant can hurt or even kill us, we would be stupid if we didn't learn more. Let's pack up our stuff and go to the marina. I know somebody there.
Wait a sec, we can't be the only ones in this boat of ignorance.
For sure. How about you? How much do you know about boater safety?
Chances are it's not enough. So join us as we learn how to be safe and smart on the water as we head into the outdoors.
Grab your gear and let's explore as we discover the wild outdoors. Science, discovery, it's what we do. You can make our earth a bright and better place by joining us in this wide open space. Into the outdoors. Get ready for the weekend. Get ready for me.
Oh, hey, check it. Madeline Marina. I'm paddling the Madeline. Paddling the Madeline.
Forget the paddling. Let's see what kind of boats they have.
Look at all these sweet fishing boats. Which one should we rent?
I don't know.
Well, it depends.
Oh, hey, Sed. Depends on what?
A person 12 to 15 years old may operate a motorboat only if he or she is accompanied by a parent, a guardian, or a person at least 18 years old who is designated by the parent or guardian, or he or she has completed a boating safety course that is accepted by the Wisconsin DNR. Whew. All right, let's see your boating identification cards.
Cedric is talking about boater education cards, which we did not have.
But you can get certified by taking and successfully completing an online boater education course offered in your state so that you can get your own boater education card.
Well, looks like your fishing trip is sunk before you even got out on the water. You could always use that gross thing over there.
Oh, you're kidding. That thing isn't seaworthy. Give us a break. I thought Cedric was your friend.
Hey, I am giving you a break, and I'm being a friend by telling you about laws you have to obey that could save your life. And since I am a friend and just got off work, I suppose I could take you. Only if you promise to follow the rules and practice real boating safety. Deal?
Deal! Let's hit the water.
Whoa. All right, I suppose every teacher has their problems too. Look, here's your first test. If 88% of fatal drowning victims were not wearing a life jacket when they walked out on the dock, what's the first thing you should have before you even step foot on there?
The ability to be a good swimmer?
Nope, try again there, bird brain.
He's talking about a PFD.
Oh, I think I get it. PFD, prevention from drowning. That makes perfect sense, right?
Well, it does make sense, but it really stands for Personal Flotation Device. You know, a life jacket. And do you know why they're called life jackets? Because they can save your life, even if you think you're a good swimmer. Turns out there are several kinds. No matter what kind you wear, it needs to be Coast Guard approved for how you're using it. For our inland, near-shore fishing trip, we're using these that are pretty cool because they allow lots of freedom to move when fishing. But there's even a kind that automatically inflates when it gets immersed in water.
No matter what PFD you decide to wear, make sure it's in good condition with no holes or tears and that it fits properly. Too big, it can slip off. Too small, it might not keep you afloat. Now can we go fishing?
Yes.
Looks like those three are getting ready to leave. I better go check it out.
Here's a mini quiz for you. Since drowning is the second leading cause of preventable deaths through age 15, would you trust your life to an inflatable toy or an air mattress? You know the answer, right? I can't wait to catch some fish.
Yeah, me too.
Permission to come aboard?
Whoa, no, not yet. Where's your float plan?
Float what? I thought the plan was to have this boat float us out to catch fish.
Oh no, a float plan is a form that you leave with a responsible person telling them when and where you will be out on the water and what to do if you don't check in on time. Anything can happen out there. Trust me, I've seen it. Either write down or text your float plan so you can leave it with the marina, your parents, or friends. Include a clear description of your boat, who is on board the boat, your safety equipment that's on board, where and when you expect to be leaving from, going to, and returning to, who to contact if you haven't checked in or returned within a reasonable time, the cell phone number of someone on board. Now you have a ton of options here. You can even customize your own online on your computer.
To access the float plan, launch a search engine on your computer and type in float plans. Click the first link and you'll be able to edit the document right on your web browser. You can also download it for offline use.
Think you've learned a lot so far? Just wait to see what we have next.
Don't go away. There's more Into the Outdoors.
Find more science smarts at intotheoutdoors.org.
And now back into the outdoors. Now that we're done messing with all that boating safety, we can just focus on catching some fish, right?
Wrong. Listen here, Mr. Fish Focus. When do you think it's a good time to forget about boating safety?
Well, okay, you got me. Boating safety should always be a part of every boating adventure.
Congratulations, we might turn you into an even smarter boater yet. I forgot some snacks. You got any in that big red bag?
Oh no, this is our safe boating bag. This kind of stuff could save our lives. Like this baby. This is a portable GPS. This thing can get us back to the marina if we get caught in bad weather, it's too foggy to see, or if it's too dark out.
I've got a backup GPS right here. I even dropped a pin at the marina before we left.
Smart move, but how else can a GPS keep you out of trouble?
It can help determine what direction we're going. GPS stands for Global Positioning System. It uses a satellite navigation system to determine your exact location, velocity, and what direction you're traveling. But bring a backup magnetic compass too. What direction the marina is in. It's easy to get turned around when boating, so it's important to know where to return to at the marina or launch site. How far we've traveled. Knowing how far you've traveled helps determine how much fuel you've used and how much time it will take for you to safely return to port, especially important if it's getting dark. Hazards to avoid. Hazards include submerged rocks, old docks, tree stumps, strong currents, almost anything you can't see. Setting waypoints to determine a course. You rarely travel in a straight line while fishing or boating, especially on rivers or reservoirs. By establishing waypoints, it helps you navigate back to your safe port. Help in using landmarks and navigational charts. Some GPS units, like the bigger one on our boat, show detailed map views that can help you avoid hazards, find safe ports, and even pinpoint good fishing locations. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Are you two messing with me? You seem to know a lot about boating safety. Have you already taken the course?
No, honest, if you think about it, we're really just using common sense.
Can't go wrong with common sense.
Oh yeah, common sense. That's one of the most important things that some people leave back on shore. But do you know what this bad boy is?
What the heck is that thing? It looks crazy.
Now this is seriously smart technology. It's an EPIRB, an emergency position indicating radio beacon. Whew, that's a mouthful. Let's say we accidentally got dumped in the water, hit a rock, maybe in the dark or in rough, stormy waves. We activate the EPIRB and its two radios start transmitting our SOS signals into space to a weather satellite. That sends our distress signal to a ground station so the Coast Guard can use the unit's GPS signal to locate and rescue us.
Whoa, that is some sweet technology.
I'm not cool with that rescue scenario. Floundering around in stormy waters in the dark? No fun. It's crazy out here. I think we might go overboard. It's so windy. Ah! How about instead we use some of this other stuff to prevent us from being dumped into dark, stormy waters in the first place?
That's a good point. Preventing an accident is the best way from being in an accident. So let's run through the rest of our safety gear, shall we? Our boat's VHF marine radio is for calling the marina or other boaters.
By having a weather radio, it'll alert us before we get into any dangerous weather situations. This thing is awesome.
Our safety kit with distress signaling.
This will make sure that no matter how dark it is, other people will be able to see us if we're in distress and have to use it.
A bailer kit.
Hopefully you won't ever have to use this, but in case you do, it will help you pump out excess water from the inside of the boat.
And oars.
If we were in an emergency situation and our engine wasn't responding, oars would allow us to row back to shore.
Our throwable PFD if you're accidentally dumped overboard.
Even if you think you're a good swimmer, make sure you have a throwable PFD that can be thrown into the water just in case someone needs help.
Navigation lights so others can see us in the dark or fog.
Navigation lights are smart and mandatory.
And of course, your engine cutoff switch.
Engine cutoff switch? Don't we need that to get back?
Clearly, we have a lot more to learn about boating safety. And when you need to learn something, you should go to the experts, like the Coast Guard or a marine safety officer.
So the engine cutoff switch, it's basically a lanyard that attaches to your life jacket that also goes to the ignition of your boat. In the event that you were to fall off, that switch would be pulled and it would shut off the engine for the boat. If you were to fall overboard and that boat tiller were to get stuck one way, it would continuously do a circle and you're in the water, you can possibly be injured from the prop of the boat. If there's one piece of advice I could give to any parent with their children going on a boat, it would be wear a life jacket from the moment you step on the dock. A life jacket is critical, but even when you're wearing it, you can still get into trouble. For example, over the summer, approximately 4 o'clock in the morning, we got a call of a woman who fell overboard. Her crew did not know that she was gone until about an hour later, so she was in the water the entire time. She did have a life jacket on because the seas were very heavy that night. So her crew was able to recover her, and we also arrived on scene and were able to medevac her back and treat her for some cold weather injuries. But having that life jacket on truly saved her life. That brings up another point after dark. There's a lot of important safety equipment that you should have on board at night. Whether it's flares, always make sure your navigational lights are working. The biggest hazard of a moving vessel is not being aware of your surroundings or not being familiar with that area. Also, understanding the rules of the road when it comes to navigation. So like what other vessels' running lights mean along with your own, and sound signaling devices as well. There's been multiple circumstances of, a husband that goes out to fish or something like that and he doesn't tell his wife or whoever's at home where they're going, and they become beset by the weather or run out of gas or something like that. And then all of a sudden, no one knows where they are. If they were to call us, we can call the sheriffs to do like welfare checks and stuff like that at home. And if not, and we figure out a common area where they go to, we will launch an asset and go look for them.
Don't go away. There's more Into the Outdoors.
Find more science smarts at intotheoutdoors.org.
And now back into the outdoors.
Most people think that the Coast Guard just patrols the oceans. That's not true. We're very common throughout the Great Lakes as well. Basically any federal waterway, the Coast Guard has the primary jurisdiction for. When people see the Coast Guard, most of the time people think that they're in some kind of trouble, but that's not always the case. Most of the time we're just coming up, maybe just talk to you, talk about some safety equipment, or run through a recreational boating safety exam. We do the recreational boating safety inspections, or we call them RBS boardings, to check that boats have their proper safety equipment on board, just in the event of an emergency, that they would have those things readily available to them. When you have all that equipment, it could be your first resource to possibly saving yourself or prevent a worsening situation. The most common incidents we run into is disabled vessels, whether they're running out of gas or they lose electrical power in some way. They don't have any means of getting back underway, so they're kind of just sitting there disabled in the water, floating around. You really need to take a communication device when you're out on the water, whether it's a cell phone, a radio, or even an EPIRB. It's the best way to contact the Coast Guard, especially on a radio, channel 16. If we get that request for help, someone is always there 24/7. The best part of my job is the people I work with, the experiences that we share from doing some of these search and rescue missions, and how we can help the public out on the daily basis, whether it's search and rescue or boating safety. It's not every job that you get to help people and save lives.
You know, I think I'd be pretty good at saving lives.
It's everyone's responsibility to save lives. You know, once you're certified to know how to save someone.
Sounds easy enough. Just toss this thing in, right? How hard can it be?
Let's head back to the marina and see if you're up to it. Let's start with the near dock scenario.
Hey, that's me!
If someone falls in unexpectedly,
Oh no, I'm falling! Help me!
here's what you should do. If you're on a dock when someone falls in, you should first try to talk the victim to safety.
Come on, get back to safety. You can swim, it's not that far.
The water's shallow. You can probably stand up.
If he or she is unable to get to the dock, then you should use these other rescue techniques. Method number 1, reach. Using a fishing rod, branch, or towel, or any other object to reach out to the victim and pull them to safety. If nothing is available, lie flat on the dock, grab the victim's hand or wrist, and pull them to safety.
Come on, grab my hand.
Just reach a little farther.
You've got this.
Method number 2, throw. If the victim is too far away to reach and a boat isn't handy, throw the victim a PFD or anything else that will float.
Here, try and catch this.
Method number 3, row. If a rowboat is available, row to the victim and then use an oar or paddle to pull the victim to the stern, the back of the boat. Let the victim hold onto the stern as you paddle to shore. If the victim is too weak, hold onto him or her until help arrives. If using a power boat, stop the engine and glide to the victim from the downwind side. Method number 4, go. If you don't have life-saving training, do not try to swim to a victim. You could both end up drowning. Instead, go for help. If you absolutely must swim, take anything that floats to keep between you and the victim. Chances are they'll be in a panic and could pull you under.
Wow, that's my wake-up call to saving someone. And there's plenty more to learn, too. Find out next.
Don't go away. There's more Into the Outdoors.
Find more science smarts at intotheoutdoors.org.
And now back into the outdoors.
Why is it that most people think that getting injured or even almost drowning will only happen to other people? That's the reason some people end up being dead wrong.
believe it or not, reports and research can actually help decode and prevent drownings if we pay attention to what they tell us. For instance, the fact is, kids can sometimes be a bit too impulsive and get into trouble when boating or fishing. And that can be serious trouble when they're careless by not wearing their PFDs. Why is that? Turns out a couple of reasons. First, psychologists have discovered that the processing brain systems in teens, pay attention boys, coincides with their undeveloped cognitive control systems. That's a fancy way of saying their brains don't always work logically when it comes to analyzing risks. And it's that biological imbalance that can cause risky teen decision-making, especially when it's peer-driven by someone who's being reckless. You know, one dumb show-off followed by a dumber one trying to impress someone.
Check it out, guys. I can drive with no hand.
Here's the real kicker. That risky behavior and the boating accidents they cause is actually contrary to what most teens really want. They want to be viewed by other teens and their parents as being smart, responsible, and busting the stereotype myth that all teens are impulsive and irresponsible. And there you have it, the science behind teens and boating accidents. Now you can use that science to stay safe and smart on the water.
Although I've always wanted to be safe and responsible out on the water, there are a lot of other people who have had pretty dangerous experiences while boating.
Makes me wonder, who are these people and what got them into trouble? Oh my.
Hey everyone, my name's Rob Nelson. I sank my sailboat offshore and I should not be alive. It was the day before Thanksgiving when I was much younger, and I looked out at the ocean and I said, I'm going to sail out that day. And I didn't realize I was sailing into the storm of the decade. Halfway out, the entire channel closed off. I got thrown off the boat. That boat went end over end in a 20-foot breaking wave, got smashed to pieces. I wasn't wearing a life jacket. In fact, we didn't have any life jackets on board the boat that weren't stuffed under the seats. I tried to swim to my friend, and I realized I was going to drown if I kept going to them because I was being held under with each big wave. I had to abandon my friend and that boat, and I had to turn and try to head back to shore. Long story short, I got really lucky, grabbed the last buoy out to sea, and that's when I got rescued by the Coast Guard. We managed to get inside the shore break and they stopped and they told me my friend was alive. So what's the take home from all this? It's that you should be aware of some of the things that could go wrong and make sure that you're mitigating your risks. First of all, I always check the weather. I also wear a life jacket at all times. Now, I also make sure I carry some sort of emergency beacon where I can call somebody if I get into trouble. So I hope you learned something from this story. Please stay safe out there, but have fun while you're doing it.
Wow, that's serious. See how boating accidents can happen to anybody, including you and me?
But the good news is now we know a lot more about how not to become the victim. We challenge you to join us by getting certified so we can all be safe and smart sharing our lakes and rivers.
Whether you're fishing or boating, as we adventure into the outdoors.
Grab your gear and let's explore as we discover the wild outdoors. Science, discovery, it's what we do. You can make our Earth a bright and better place by joining us in this wide open space into the outdoors.
The following organizations have provided funding for this Into the Outdoors television series.